originally from Buffalo, New York. And back in 1985, I got the phone call. I couldn't believe it. For years and years and years, I played in my local band Talus in Buffalo, New York. And we did pretty good. We played regionally, opened up for Van Halen back in 1980, did about 40 shows with those guys. And then around 1985, out of nowhere, a phone call comes in, and it's David Lee Roth asking me to come to California in some mysterious circumstance, and I didn't know what it was. I came out here, and he explained to me, no one knew yet. He said, I'm quitting the band. I want to start a new band. I said, you're kidding. I said, yeah, I want to start a band with you. I said, well, okay. Because I always said there's only one band I'd ever leave Talus for. If I ever got the chance to be in Van Halen, it would be Van Halen. So Dave called and said, close enough. That was gone. I went right there. But it was an incredible time. And then after that, I did Mr. Big. We did our first record, and it was pretty good. Okay, we're doing good. We're playing around, touring and stuff like that. And second record came out. We felt really good about it. It was really strong, and everything was going good. We put out a single, nothing. Put out another single, nothing. Another single, nothing again. So we're in the tour bus, and I'm thinking, well, we're like about 9 months into touring on the album, and by then, if nothing's broken, it's over, So we're like, we're going to have to head back home and start over again, I guess. Man, what a drag. I wonder if it'll ever happen. And then out of nowhere, this guy named John Terry in Lincoln, Nebraska started playing To Be With You. We got up into the charts and did a video, and it was #1 on MTV, and unheard of, We were the most surprised people in the world. Because now, especially because we had to go back out and tour all over again, all the places we already played, So it was a triple workload for us, but nobody's complaining. And sure enough, we got up at about number 5 or 4, and we're in line to go to the #1 spot on Billboard. But ahead of us were 2 artists, Prince and Michael Jackson. Fat chance. Sure enough, we get the phone call, bang, got #1 on Billboard. Then not only for that, 2 weeks, and then 3 weeks. So it was I'm forever, ever thankful and grateful to everybody that did that, because it's a life-changing experience to have a #1 single. I chose bass because when I was a kid, there's a guy named Joe Hesse, and he was a bass player around the corner in a band called the Rockin' Paramounts. And they were one of the biggest bands around Buffalo. This is back when they had slick back hair and wore, Beatles hadn't happened yet. Then the Beatles came, and they washed all that out of their hair, changed their shoes, and now we had a whole new era. But Joe was a bass player, and he was the coolest guy. He had a Triumph motorcycle, had the best-looking girlfriend. He even had a cool walk. We could see Joe coming from miles away. Oh, here he comes, that's Joe, I can tell. How can you tell? Well, he was walking, So Joe was just a cool guy, and he played bass. So I was just a little kid, and I'd sit outside the basement window and listen to him practice, and the bass would always rattle the windows. And I'd go home, I have to go to bed early and stuff. I'd lay in bed and hear the bass off in the distance, the same way you hear like a boombox of a car, a super loud subwoofer in a car. You hear that from miles away, it travels, So I went over there one day, and they're loading in, and I saw the bass amp coming in. It was this Fender Dual Showman with this big cabinet coming in, and the amps sat on top of the cabinet, and I just thought that was so cool. And the guitar player brought this tiny little twin reverb in. I thought, that's not cool. Then I saw the bass, and it was this giant, big, heavy, huge strings, giant things. And I saw the guitar, and it was these little, like a cheese cutter strings, tiny little strings. I thought, oh, maybe those are for girls. I don't know. It could be. Sorry, guitar players. You guys get all the glory. I'm having one on you. We love guitar players. But no, I just thought it was just, for some reason, it just appealed to me. And then I remember the first couple of times listening to the radio and hearing, like a song by the Zombies, She's Not There or something like that. And somebody say, hey, you hear that there? Yeah, that thing there? Yeah, that's the bass. Yeah, like Joe plays. Cool. Oh, that's amazing. So, wow, that's the bass. Cool, the bass line. So it just appealed to me. And I had no idea that guitar was really the glory instrument. And we were like the catcher on the baseball team. You're working every pitch you're working, but the other guys get the glory, Well, that's fine. That's okay. I was never in it for that. But I still, to this day, the biggest success I've ever had in my life, I think, in my humble opinion, is the fact that I still love to play. I can just play and play and play for hours and hours and hours. Sit down and go. And to this day, and more now the last 2 or 3 years than ever before, I just sit down and play and come up with stuff. And every single time, some new thing presents itself to me that I never knew before. I love To Be With You. I love that song. We all loved it instantly. It was on a demo tape of Eric's, and he didn't even think about presenting it to the band. I go, Eric, well, that song to be with you. He goes, oh, really? You think so? And come on, it's great. We love it. We wanted to do it. We love the song. Alive and Kickin', Daddy, Brother, Green Tin, 60s Mind. We love playing that stuff live now. And plus, the great, cool thing about it, and I love all kinds of music, and playing music that appeals to a small amount of people or a large amount of people. The large amount of people music is so much fun because you're up there, we're in Brazil, and we're singing Green to the 60s Mind, and there's 100,000 people on the beach. And I mean, just your hair stands on. And I remember that gig in particular, I cut myself, and I didn't know. I was playing along, I felt something sticky. My hands are sticky. I looked down, oh, I'm bleeding. You don't even feel it. You don't even feel pain in a situation like this. It's so cool. So I wish that and more on everybody, every player, to get a situation to experience being in front of a huge crowd, singing your song, a sea of smiling faces. And God, it does not get any better. I'm so humbled and thankful to have had a slice of that.